Our first example for solving rational inequality is 3x plus 1 over x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 2. Ang una natin gagawin ay put the rational inequality in general form. Ibig sabihin natin, gagawin natin 0 yung ating isang side. Magiging 3x plus 1 over x minus 1. So, ililipat natin yung 2. Magiging minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. Next is, gagawin nating single rational expression yung ating left side. So, 3x plus 1 over x minus 1 minus 2. So, kunin natin yung LCD. So, kapag whole number at fraction, yung LCD natin ay yung denominator, which is x minus 1. At kapag yung denominator ang nagamit nating LCD, so kopyahin lang natin yung given na kapartner sa fraction. Then, minus 2 at yun ang i-multiply natin sa nakuha nating LCD. It will become 3x plus 1. So, minus 2 times x is 2x. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. Over x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Combine like terms, 3x minus 2x, so that is x. Then, 1 plus 2, that is plus 3. Over x minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. After natin ma-express as a single rational expression, ay set natin yung numerator and denominator equal to 0. So, x plus 3 is equal to 0. So, x equal to negative 3. And x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then x equal to positive 1. So, para mas madali, babaguhin mo lang yung sign nung kakabit niya. So, x plus 3, so that is negative 3. X minus 1, so that is positive 1. So, etong nakuha natin, yan yung tinatawag nating critical values. Negative 3 and positive 1. So, sa critical values, yan yung gagawin natin sa paggawa ng number line. So, negative 3 nasa left side. Negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1. So, ito yung ating negative 3 at ito yung ating positive 1. After natin ma-plot sa number line yung ating critical values natin kanina ay negative 3 and positive 1. Isa-substitute natin ngayon ito sa ating inequality, yung ating critical values. So, if x negative 3, so that is negative 3 plus 3 over negative 3 minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. So, negative 3 plus 3, that is 0 over negative 4 is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, dahil nag-equal siya sa 0, ibig sabihin, included yung ating negative 3. Ngayon, subukan naman natin yung positive 1. So, it will become 1 plus 3 over 1 minus 1. So, that is greater than or equal to 0. So, 1 plus 3, that is equal to 4. And then, 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So, that is 4 over 0 greater than or equal to 0. Remember class, kapag ang ating denominator ay 0, that is undefined. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin siya masosolve. So, ibig sabihin, hindi included yung ating positive 1. Kaya hindi natin i-shade yung kanyang point. Ngayon ay magseselect na tayo ng ating mga test values dun sa ating interval. So, ilang interval ba meron tayo? So, sa pagitan ng 3 at 1, that is isa. Then, lahat ng nasa kaliwa ni negative 3. And then, lahat ng nasa kanan ni positive 1. So, mag-test point tayo if x is negative 4. So, if x negative 4, negative 4 plus 3 over negative 4 minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. So, negative 4 plus 3, so that is negative 1 over negative 4 minus 1, that is negative 5 is greater than or equal to 0. So, negative divided by negative, so that is positive. 1/5 is greater than or equal to 0. Alam natin, lahat ng numbers na positive ay greater than 0. So, ibig sabihin, included yung lahat ng nasa kaliwa ni negative 3. So, check tayo doon. Pangalawang test, values natin ay siselect sa pagitan naman ni negative 3 at positive 1. So, halimbawa, mas madali 0 na lang. So, 0 plus 3, that is 3. 0 minus 1, that is negative 1. Greater than or equal to 0. So, 3 divided by negative 1, so that is negative. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pa rin included kasi ang hinahanap natin dapat ay 0 o kaya ay mas mataas sa 0. Ibig sabihin, hindi included yung nakapagitan kay negative 3 at positive 1. How about yung nasa kanan ni positive 1? Test natin yung 2. So, 2 plus 3, that is 5 over 2 minus 1, that is 1. Greater than or equal to 0. So, 5 divided by 1, that is equal to 5 is greater than or equal to 0. So, 5 is greater than 0. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng nasa kanan ni 1 ay included sa ating solution. Ngayon, kung papansin nyo, yung ating solution ay negative 3 pakaliwa at positive 1 pakanan. So, ibig sabihin, hindi included yung between negative 3 and positive 1. So, kung isusulat natin yung ating solution using set or interval notation, that is negative 3 kasama up to negative infinity. And then, union 1 hindi kasama up to positive infinity. So, yun yung ating solution using interval notation. How about kung gagamitin naman natin yung set notation? So, that is x such that x is less than or equal to negative 3 or x is greater than positive 1. Next natin ay 2 quantity x minus 4 over x is less than negative 4. So, ang una natin gagawin ay put the rational inequality in general form. So, magiging plus 4 less than 0. Then, express natin siya as single rational expression. So, ang LCD natin dito ay x dahil yung ating i-add ay whole number. So, automatic yung ating denominator ang ating LCD. And then, copy na lang natin yung nasa taas. Then, plus 4. So, yun ang i-multiply natin yung sa x. That is 4x less than 0. And then, multiply 2 times x, that is 2x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8 plus 4x over x is less than 0. So, 2x plus 4x, that is 6x minus 8 over x is less than 0. Ngayon, i-set na natin yung ating numerator and denominator into 0. So, 6x minus 8 is equal to 0. Then, 6x is equal to 8. Then, divide both sides by 6. So, x is equal to 8 over 6, or that's equal to 4/3. Then, yung isa naman, dahil x is equal to 0, so that is x is equal to 0. So, ang ating critical values ay 4/3 and 0. So, ito ay 0. Ang 4/3 natin, that's equal to 1 and 1/3. So, kung ito ay 1, ito ang 2, malamang ang ating 4/3 ay nandito. So, ang hinahanap natin ay less than 0. Ang less than 0 ay negative numbers. So, i-substitute natin ngayon yung ating critical values dun sa ating equation. So, dito na sa equation na to. So, 6x minus 8 over x is less than 0. So, 6 times 4/3. So, that is 6 times 4 is 24. Divide 3, that is 8. Minus 8 over 4/3 less than 0. So, 8 minus 8, that is equal to 0. So, 0 over 4/3 is less than 0. So, kapag ang numerator natin ay 0, divide by any number, maliban sa 0, hindi siya less than kay 0. So, ibig sabihin, hindi kasama ang ating 4/3 sa ating value. So, iwan siya na open circle. How about 0? So, kung 6 times 0 minus 8 over 0 is less than 0. So, 0 times 6 is 0 minus 8, that's negative 8 over 0 is less than 0. Pag ang denominator natin ay 0, that is undefined. So, meaning hindi natin siya masosolve. So, hindi rin included ang 0. So, open circle din siya. Ang susunod natin gagawin ay magse-select tayo ngayon ng mga test values dun sa ating interval. So, ang test values natin ay sa kaliwa ni 0, sa pagitan nilang dalawa ng 0 at 4/3, at lahat ng nasa kanan ni 4/3. So, unahin natin dito sa kaliwa ni 0, that is negative 1. So, dito natin sa substitute. So, 6 times negative 1, that is negative 6. Minus 8 over negative 1 is less than 0. So, negative 6 minus 8, that is negative 14 over negative 1 is less than 0. So, negative divided by negative, that is positive 14. And positive 14 is not less than 0. So, ibig sabihin, hindi kasama yung nasa kaliwa ni 0. Another, subukan natin yung nasa pagitan nila. So, subukan natin yung 1. So, if x is 1, 6 times 1 is 6 minus 8 over 1 is less than 0. So, 6 minus 8 is negative 2 over 1 is less than 0. So, negative 2 divided by positive 1, that is negative 2 is less than 0. So, ibig sabihin, yung nasa pagitan nila ng 0 at 4/3 ay included sa ating solution. How about yung nasa kanan ni 4/3? Subukan natin yung 2. So, 6 times 2 is 12 minus 8 over 2 is less than 0. 12 minus 8, that is 4 over 2 less than 0. So 4 divided by 2, that is 2 less than 0. So positive 2, hindi siya less than kay 0. So ibig sabihin, hindi included yung nasa kanan ni 4/3. So included lang natin ay nakapagitan kay 0 at 4/3 at hindi pa sila kasamang dalawa. So ibig sabihin, sa pagsulat natin ng ating solution, so dahil hindi included yung 0, so that is 0 up to, hindi rin included ang 4/3. So yan yung ating interval notation. Using set notation naman, that is x such that x is greater than 0 but less than 4/3. That is our answer. For our last example, x squared plus x minus 6 over x squared minus 3x minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. So kung mapapansin natin, naka-equate na siya into general form kasi 0 na yung nasa right side. And then as a single rational expression na din. Ngayon, mas madali kung ipapactor natin yung ating numerator and denominator. So ano ba ang factor ng x squared plus x minus 6? So x squared, that is x times x. Then, umisip tayo ng number na kapag pinag-multiply ay negative 6. Ibig sabihin, negative, that is positive or negative. At kapag pinag-add naman natin ay 1, positive 1. So, possible, that is 3 times 2. So, that is 6. Mas mataas ang positive, so that is positive 3 minus 2 over. So, ito ring babae, factor din natin. So, that is x. And then, negative. So, ibig sabihin, magkaiba ulit sila. And then, 4. Pag pinag-multiply, negative 4. Pag pinag-add naman ay negative 3. So, possible that is negative 4 and positive 1. It's less than or equal to 0. Ngayon, dito tayo kukuha ngayon ng ating critical values. So, ang technique na lang natin na ituturo ko sa inyo, kapag naka-open close parenthesis, ang critical values ay iibahin mo lang yung sign nasa loob nila. So, dito ay negative 3, positive 2, positive 4, and negative 1. Ngayon ay gagawa na tayo ng number line. So, kung ito ay 0, ito ay 1, ito ay 2, 3, 4. So, negative 3, positive 2, 4, and negative 1. Ngayon, kukuha tayo nga ng natin sa substitute kung bawat critical values natin. So, if x is negative 3, so dito, negative 3 plus 3, that is 0, times negative 3 minus 3, that is negative 5, over negative 3, that is negative 7, times negative 2. Less than or equal to 0. So, 0 times 5, or 0 times negative 5, that is equal to 0, over positive 14, is less than or equal to 0. So, 0 divided by 14, so that is 0, is less than or equal to 0. So, ibig sabihin, included yung ating negative 3. So, same with positive 2. Kasi magiging 0 na siya, multiply natin doon, so magiging 0 pa rin yung sagot. Basta ang numerator natin ay 0, at denominator natin is any number, that is still 0. So, included ang positive 2. How about negative 1? Mag-0 yung baba. Ibig sabihin kapag nag-0 yung baba, 0 times to any number, 0 pa din. Then kapag ang baba ay 0, that is undefined. So hindi kabali yung negative 1. Ganun din ang positive 4. Hindi rin siya kabali or kasali. So dalawa lang kasali dyan, yung negative 3 and positive 2. Ngayon kukuha tayo ngayon ng mga test point. Yung nasa pagitan or nasa kaliwa, yung negative 3, nasa pagitan ni negative 3 and negative 1, sa pagitan ni negative 1 at positive 2, nasa pagitan ni 2 at 4 at nasa kanan ni 4. Unahin natin yung nasa kaliwa ni negative 3. So that is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 3, that is negative 1 times negative 4 minus 2, that's negative 6 over negative 4 minus 4, that's negative 8. Negative 4 plus 1, that is negative 3. Less than or equal to 0. So negative 1 times 6, positive 6. Negative 8 times 3 is positive 24. Less than or equal to 0. So hindi siya nag-equal at hindi na naman siya less than kasi positive. Ang less than kay 0 ay negative. So hindi kabali ito nasa kaliwa ni negative 3. How about nasa pagitan ni 3 at negative 1? Subukan natin yung negative 2 plus 3, that is positive 1. Negative 2 minus 2, that's negative 4. Negative 2 minus 4, that is negative 6. Negative 2 plus 1, that is negative 1. Less than or equal to 0. So 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. Negative 6 times negative 1, that's positive 6. Less than or equal to 0. Negative divide positive, or that is equal to negative 2/3 is less than or equal to 0. So that is negative 2/3 is less than 0. So meaning kabali yung nasa pagitan, negative 3 at negative 1. How about pagitan ni negative 1 at 2? So sample natin 0. So 0 plus 3 is 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 over negative 4 times 1, that is negative 4. Less than or equal to 0. So negative divide negative, that is positive 3/2. And that is not equal to 0 or less than 0. So hindi kabali yung nasa pagitan nila. How about nakapagitan kay 2 at 4? So si 3 plus 3 is 6 times 3 minus 2 is 1 over, so 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Then 3 plus 1 is positive 4. Less than or equal to 0. That is 6 over negative 4. Less than or equal to 0. So negative yung ating denominator, positive yung ating numerator. So that is equal to negative 3/2. That is less than 0. So kasali yung nasa pagitan nila. Try naman natin yung nasa kanan ni 4. So that is 5. So 5 plus 3, that is 8 times 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 minus 4, that is 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. Less than or equal to 8 times 3 is 24. 1 times 6 is 6. Less than or equal to 0. So 24 divided 6, that is positive. Hindi siya less than or equal to 0. So ibig sabihin, lahat ng nasa kanan ni 4 ay hindi kasali. So ang kasali lang ay nasa pagitan negative 3 at negative 1, 2 at 4. So paano natin susulat yon sa ating set notation? So dahil included ang 3, that is negative 3 up to negative 1. So hindi kasama ang 1. Union, kasama ang 2. Hindi kasama si 4.